For over 145 years, the heart of my family's farmhouse has been the kitchen. It's where stories, food, and traditions have been passed down through generations. Join me as we create new memories, one dish at a time. Welcome to Adam's Farmhouse Kitchen. All right, everyone. Well, we're getting ready to roll out our pie crusts. I made it earlier and put it in the refrigerator. You can see I put it in the you can use cellophane or any kind of cling film is fine. And then you press it out so it's thin like this and it'll chill a lot quicker. And you can do it like this and put it in a gallon plastic bag if you want to freeze it. So now we're going to make our 2 pie crusts. So to start out, we're going to go ahead and take this pie dough out of this. Sometimes it can be a little sticky. And we're going to sort of just eyeball this and sort of just divide it down the center. And what we'll do is we'll put half of it over here. We're only going to do one at a time, so I'll just move this one over here for the time being. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take some flour, and it's best just to take your flour and just give it a fling like that. And you want lots of flour on your cutting board. Some people like to do it in between cellophane and roll it out, but I just do it the old-fashioned way. So we've got our pie dough here, and we're going to put a little flour on that. So we got flour on our surface. And then what I usually do is I'll put the pie crust down, and you don't want to work with it too much, but I crimp the edges as I go along when I'm making a pie crust. So put plenty of flour on there. And then we got our rolling pin. This was my grandma's rolling pin. And so we're going to put plenty of flour on there. It won't hurt anything. And then what you're going to do is you're going to roll. Some people just say roll from the middle out, but it's whatever you have to do to get the pie crust made. So we're going to roll it until it's thin enough. And if you need to, what I usually do is I'll just pinch the sides together like this as I go along. And then we're going to give it another little dusting of flour. Keep it good and floury. We're on your rolling pin. And then we're going to roll this out a little bit more. You can see it's kind of starting to take a round shape. Just a little more flour. You want it pretty thin for pumpkin pie. Not too thin, but thin enough. All right. And then what you can do to test it to see if you got it big enough is just put your pan there, and you can see that's just right. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you how to transfer it. So I like to use a large spatula, and with the flour, what I usually do is I'll take it around the edge like this, and this is going to loosen it from your surface, and just go around really good there. Get that loosened up. And then I'll show you another trick here in just a second. So we've got that loosened up from the surface. Now we're going to put some flour on it. We don't want anything to stick. It's good and floured up there. And then you can use your rolling pin if you want to. Some people like to do this way. It's whatever you have to do to get it on there. Actually, we're going to do it the way I usually do it. And what I'll do is I'll take it and I'm going to just quickly, you have to work quick, really fast. We're going to make sure it's loose in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our pie pan right here. And we're going to take this crust and put it over there about halfway. I'm going to scoop some of this out of the way, try to get some of the mess out of there. We'll clean the plate up before it goes in the oven. So about halfway there, you can see, and then we're going to unfold it like this. And then you're going to use your knuckles and kind of just pick it up like this and press it down with the back of your hand. See how I'm kind of pushing it down? You don't want it tight. You want it to fit right into the pie pan. And you can kind of lift it up as you go along like that. And then I'll show you a trick. You can use a knife, or this here will work as well. So with this, we don't want too much excess. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this spatula, and we're going to take it and go right around the edge of the pie pan like this. And you can get as decorative as you want, but this is how we're going to do this one. And that gets all of that excess off of there. And you can put this aside. My grandma used to take the extra pie crust or pie dough, and she would roll it out and sprinkle it with brown sugar and cinnamon. And that was a real treat. So we're going to just put that off to the side for right now. Okay, so there we have our perfect pie crust. And now we're going to pinch the edges and make it pretty. So you can do all kinds of different ways, but what I usually do is I'll just take my fingers like this and just make a little indentation. And I kind of, when I put the finger in, I'll kind of push down. You don't want it too high or it'll get too brown. So we're just kind of making a little indent on the side like so. And every pie is different. So we just go around like this until we get to the other side. I can see why my grandma loved this pie dough recipe. And there you have your pie shell, and we're going to fill it up here with our homemade pumpkin pie filling next. So never fail pie crust. All right, well, we're ready now to get our homemade pie filling, our pumpkin pie filling, Granny's pumpkin pie filling, and we're going to put it inside of these beautiful pies that we've got made now. And then we're going to put them in a preheated oven for about 15 minutes at 425, and then we're going to reduce the heat to 350, and then finish baking them off for about another 45-50 minutes or until they're done. And to be able to tell when they're done, you can kind of just give them a little jiggle in the oven, or you can insert a knife in the middle and gently pull it out. And if it comes out clean, then they're done. It's basically a custard pie. So let's go ahead and fill these up. So I've got my filling here that we made, and we can refrigerate the rest if we don't. And there's no amount. You're going to fill it up. I'll show you how much we're going to put in. So we're going to ladle that into our pie crust. We're going to add just a little bit more. Just a spot more. Okay, so that's about right. And we're going to put this onto our parchment lined baking sheet. And then we're going to fill this one up as well. I give it a little stir there just to make sure it's all incorporated good still. And it's really got a beautiful, beautiful golden color. All right, so we're going to add this one onto our baking sheet as well. And there might be a little close there, but actually that one's, need to smooth that around a little bit. But we'll probably put this one on a second one. Sometimes you might want to put it on another one and bake them separately, or you can put the levels in your oven, separate them a little bit. So we're all filled up, and we're going to bake these now. And then we'll have the perfect pumpkin pie here after a while.